morning. I'm teacher Angie B. Sabran, your TLE teacher. Hello kids, how are you today? I hope you're doing fine and excited to our new
Lesson
lesson.
3. Allocation of budget for basic and social needs. Our needs and wants motivate us to work hard. They encourage and inspire us to get involved in productive endeavors that will help provide not just for the basic needs and social needs of the family, but also to have extra money to indulge in things that we enjoy. Basic and social needs are the things that we value the most as we deal in the different facets of life. These are basic because we need them to be able to live life. Let's talk about our basic needs. Basic needs are requirements for sustaining life and promoting physical and mental growth for the children within the family. These include sufficient food, water, shelter, and clothing. These needs are provided by parents to their children since birth to keep them alive. Next is security and safety needs. The parents provide security and the safety needs of their children to make them comfortable and to keep them free from fear. This includes healthcare and education. Food fuels the human body. Without it, the body cannot grow or perform at its best. The organs will stop working properly and the body eventually dies. Food supplies nutrients which are used by every cell in the body as building materials and fuel. Water. Water is vital to life. Humans, plants, and animals are made up of mostly water. All living things would die if it weren't for water. We use water for drinking, washing, cleaning, cooking, and watering plants. Shelter. Human beings need shelter for protection against natural threats, such as extreme weather and dangerous creatures, and even as security against other human beings. Clothing. It is a fiber and textile material worn on the body to enhance personal appearance and protect it from extreme temperatures and elements of various climates. Education boosts self-esteem, gives the confidence to pursue dreams and alleviates poverty. And healthcare pertains to aid given by an individual, by a group, or by an institution. This involves social, mental, and medical care. Social needs, on the other hand, are things such as acceptance, appreciation, belonging, and companionship. Essentially, social needs are met by forging relationships with other people. Social needs are met in a variety of ways. Families meet the social needs of children, but later in life, romantic partners, friends, and co-workers further meet social needs. Joining groups such as a church or athletic team also meets social needs. Social needs can be anything from education, sports, celebrations, travel, leisure, and the like. We need these things for fulfillment, esteem, and self-actualization. Some examples are social and moral obligations, such as birthdays, baptism, weddings, and other social gatherings. Next, family activities like family reunion or get-together. Then, school affairs like camping or scouting, athletic meets, and other activities conducted in school. And savings or emergency budget allotted for health or house repair and the like. Now that we had identified the basic and social needs, we need to learn budgeting so that these needs are met. Today's family income has become bigger and bigger, with more members of the family earning a living. With the increase in income, there is corresponding increase in expenditure. Expenditure should be planned so that it does not exceed the income. To be able to do this, preparing a budget is necessary. Budget is the amount of money set aside for planned expenses. It is a plan specifying how much money will be spent or allocated during a particular period. Budgeting, on the other hand, is related to the wise use of family resources. It is based on the system by which wages or salaries are received and how these are to be spent by itemizing the needs of the family and how much money is needed to meet such needs. Here are the components or elements of a family budget. Food. This component is the most priority in the household budget. Approximately 50 to 60% of the budget goes to food. However, this may vary depending on other factors like number of members, eating habits, food likes and dislikes, cultural practices and beliefs, age and sex of family members. Examples of these components are groceries, raw and cooked food, staples, condiments, and spices. Shelter, if not renting, includes taxes, repair, and maintenance. Education, this includes tuition fees, books, school supplies, school projects, daily food transportation allowance of children. Health, like medicine, checkup, like medical and dental, and hospitalization. This is considered one of the most important items that need to be prioritized. Health needs of family members or the individual in terms of periodic medical and dental examination, hospitalization, and medicines should always be set aside, whether this is spent or not within a given period. This can be accumulated and set aside as savings to meet emergencies in the future. Clothing, uniforms, clothes, and accessories. Today's clothing needs have become only secondary to food and other needs, more so if the budget is limited. Clothing need is more or less dictated by the nature of one's occupation, the type of social circle one moves in, and the status symbol that goes with it. Next, household operations. These are things needed in the house, beddings, curtains, furniture, and other paraphernalia to make members comfortable. Utilities. These are electric, water, and telephone bills, gas, salaries of helpers. Recreation. Provisions for social and recreational needs serve to balance work and play. A family that enjoys together stays together. Weekly outings, strolling in parks, picnic, going to movies, outside dining, visit to relatives, attending parties, and other social occasions are instances of keeping family members together through sharing and enjoying each other's company. And last, savings. The amount set aside or deposited in the bank. The need for savings is important to ensure the family's future. The general goal of a family budget is a yearly, monthly, or weekly picture of what you need to spend and what you have left over. So in this case, allocation of family budget is very important. A family budget may differ from one family size and composition, family values and standards of living. Some families may spend more on food, others on clothing, and still others on education. So, to effectively budget family resources, it is important to set the family's goals and priorities and budget available resources based on this. For example, if education is a priority, a bigger chunk of the budget should be allocated to this. However, it is important to revisit goals and priorities every so often as these change. Discuss goals and priorities with family members so that they will understand and cooperate with how resources are budgeted and allocated. Family members should help to stick the budget and avoid overspending. Children should know also how to spend their allowance according to their needs. They also have to be taught and trained. As much as possible, save water, energy, and other items that cost money. Here are some steps in making a budget. Know your income or allowances for a definite period of time, monthly, weekly, twice a month, and make a list of expenses. Expenses can be classified as fixed, flexible, and occasional and emergency expenses. Once we say fixed, this is the amount set aside regularly for the daily expenses of the family like food, transportation, allowances, and the like. Flexible may be increased or decreased depending on the money available. Examples are recreations, gifts, contributions, clothing and accessories, magazines. So these are flexible expenses. And occasional and emergency expenses may be considered a form of savings. It includes health and medical expenses, special occasions, and the like. Another step in making a budget is determine the amount to be spent on fixed and flexible expenses. Add the expenses for these two categories. Check on the figure to find out if you are spending the right amount where you need to. Do your total expenses balance with your income? Are you overspending? Is there a need to adjust? So those are questions in making a. Below is an example of how a family divides the family resources for their basic and social needs. The family has a monthly income of 25,000 pesos and the family is composed of 4 members. The chart was divided into 3 columns. The first column, the basic and social needs of the family, like food, education, shelter, utilities, household operation, clothing, recreation, and savings. In the second column shows how many percent has been allotted to each need. And on the last column shows how much the budget is to every need. Look at how basic needs like food and education, shelter, and utilities are allocated. They were allotted a big amount or percentage since they are fixed expenses. Household operation, clothing, recreation was given small percentage since they are all flexible expenses, meaning it may increase and decrease depending on the available income. Different families have different needs and values. The amount allocated for every item may vary depending on these needs and values. So with all this, are you now ready to do the budgeting by yourself? Do you now have ideas on what to prioritize first and last? Can you now create your own budget? I do hope you learned a lot. For today, guys, God bless.